All rise. Hear ye, hear ye. Hamlben County Commission meeting is now in session. The Honorable Chris Cutchaw presiding. Please remain standing.
Thank you, Harley. Thank you, Harley. Thank y'all for being here tonight on our regularly scheduled monthly meeting this Thursday, January the 18th, 2024. As we open our meeting, I'd like to call on Commissioner Horner, please to lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Father, we thank Thee for this day, for the many blessings You give us. Even though we don't deserve them, You continue to bless us. We thank You for the opportunity to serve this county. Most of all, we thank You for the opportunity to serve You. We ask that You lead, guide, and direct this meeting. Help us all to remember the words that You taught us to pray. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be Thy name. Thy kingdom come, Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For Thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Hong.
Place the flag, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, let's call the roll, please.
Present.
13 of 14, we are here and ready for business. Okay, let's check on Mr. Richardson's monitor. It looks like it may just be off. I see a light, Thomas.
But it's there. It went to blue. There you go.
got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we've got 13 and 14. We are ready for business, and well, here we go. First order of business, folks, it's not on the agenda as far as a public announcement, but I've got something to recognize first. Mayor Britton, would you please stand? Folks, I need to let y'all know we have Mayor Britton in front of us and recognize him for 30 years of service this month. That's a feat for an elected official to serve 30 years. He began his service as trustee with an appointment January of 1994, subsequent elections as trustee, serving 16 years in that position. And then in 2010, he was elected to the office of county mayor and has faithfully served without pause this county. He has given his life for this service of this county, and very few elected officials are able to achieve what he has done. So, Mayor Britton, we thank you for your service and dedication to this county. Thank you. Item number 2, public comment regarding general and non-agenda items. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. To a public comment regarding general and non-agenda items, we have one name on our list. Ms. Noy, you're recognized.
Joe Stevens Road, Morristown, Tennessee. My topic is rules, and in particular the Rules Committee, and many rules that have not been dealt with that need to be addressed. The first thing would be rules compilation. That was discussed. I went back and looked at a newspaper article 3 years ago. And here we are, nearly 3 years later, and there is no compilation that has been presented or adopted by this commission. So again, we're just sitting there, what are the rules? Where would people find them? And how do they apply? So I'd ask that your Rules Committee meet in February, and that be one item for the Rules Committee. Item 2, and I've mentioned this before, I'd like in the Rules Committee discussion and reconsideration of I call it the cameras in the back rule. I'd like you to consider amending the rule you currently have to allow people with small handheld cameras, no bigger than the size of your hand, or a cell phone, to be allowed to videotape any portion or portions of your meetings. And I've addressed that before. Why I support that is because it would allow people to simply tape certain portions. Maybe they don't want to watch the whole tape to see one portion of the tape. Or maybe they desire to zoom in on the chairman as he makes a presentation. And I'm not talking about just necessarily the chairman of the commission, but a chairman of a committee. There's absolutely nothing that is disrupted by a small camera or a cell phone quietly, without light or sound, taping a portion of your meeting. The third thing is, I would love to see you put on your agenda having a compilation of your boards and committees and publishing that. Who is on the board or committee? When were they appointed? And when does their term expire? You might be surprised what you would find out. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address this commission? You may do so by stating your name and your address. Seeing none, we will now move to item 2B, public comment regarding agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to deliver comment? Seeing none, we will now move to nominations and appointments. Item 3 on our agenda. The following, number 1, item 3A, the Ag Committee. This is a vote that we'll take off the board, and the following members of the Hamlben County Agricultural Committee are eligible for appointment or reappointment to 2-year terms effective January the 1st, 2024. These are voluntary, non-paid positions. The first one is Commissioner Peggy Howe to serve from January 1st, 2024 through December the 31st, 2025. She will be replacing Commissioner Neesmith, whose 3-year term has been limited and maxed out. Second one is Commissioner Rodney Long to serve from January the 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, replacing Thomas Doty, whose 3-year term limit has also maxed out. And the other reappointments would be Commissioner Bobby Hahn, farmwoman from Civil District 2, Judy Huntsinger, and farmwoman from Civil District 3, Donna Morris. All of these appointments are on your board. Do anyone need these to be separated? Can we vote these as a whole?
As a whole.
I need a motion.
Make a motion as a whole.
We have a motion as a whole,
Second.
and we have a second. You got that? Any discussion on this motion? Let's vote the motion, please. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion passes. Thank you. Item 3B, appointment to the EMS Regulatory Board. This also will be off the board. The Hamlben County EMS Regulatory Board was formed in 2014 to establish and to monitor standards for ambulance services operating in the county, and the board consists of 3 persons: Emergency Management Agency Director, Emergency Medical Services Professional, physician and also a physician with emergency medicine experience. The term of Rick Valentine, the Assistant Director of Sevier County EMS, expires this month and has agreed to serve another 3-year term. So the EMA Director, Chris Bell, has recommended the Assistant Director Valentine be reappointed to this board position. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Horner, second, Commissioner Hahn. Is there any discussion on this matter? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Does that work? All right. Item 3C, appointment to Planning Commission. A vacancy on the County Commission was created a few weeks ago with the passing of Planning Commissioner Kyle Hell. The mayor has recommended that Mrs. Kay Hell, which is Kyle's wife, be appointed to serve the remainder of her husband's term, which expires August 31st, 2024. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Mr. Harville, second, Mr. Doty. Is there any discussion on this item? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. We'll now move to item 4, Calendar Rules Committee report. Chairman Doty, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have item 4A, approval of the consent calendar items, and I put that in the form of a motion.
One second, we get our screen up. That's all right. We'll make it. All right, we got a motion, we got a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Chairman,
I'm sorry, did not see that.
it didn't show. I apologize.
Yes, Commissioner Green, you're recognized.
Thank you, sir. I ask you to pull the attorneys off the attorney's billing so that I can ask a question of Attorney Capps, please.
Okay, let me get this, let me get that straightened out. Okay, Commissioner Green has requested that on the consent calendar, item number 7, the county attorney invoices be removed, and they will be placed on item 5 of our regular agenda. Everyone got that? That needs no second. So, okay, we've got a motion, we got a second. Any more discussion on this motion? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Yea, 0 nay.
This motion passes.
Item 4B is the approval of the regular calendar items. We have 3 changes to our regular calendar. If you can look at your sheets. Items 10C, bid tabulation for courtroom spectator seating. The bids had not been looked at yet because of the weather. Item 10B, the same. The bids had not been looked at yet because of the weather. And 10E, things are not ready yet because of the weather on that. So with those removed from the regular calendar, I make a motion that we approve.
Does everyone understand? We got a motion and a second. All minds clear. We're removing item 10C, D, and E from our regular calendar. Yes, sir.
Can I address
Absolutely.
bids, please?
Yes,
Just to update you on the bids, and first on the courtroom spectator seating, that's the bench seating that would be in the new courtrooms. We received 3 bids for that, and we're waiting for a stain sample from the low bidder to make sure that it matches what we need. And so that's why we can't make a recommendation right now. And then the office furniture workstation bid, we extended the bid deadline on that until today, and we received 6 bids for that, so we haven't had time to evaluate those. So I have notified Commissioner Cutshaw that I'm calling a special called meeting of the County Commission next Thursday at 5 o'clock to vote on these 2 items, because we can't wait a whole month and place the order for these 2 items and be timely when we get possession of the Justice Center. So at your seat, there should be a letter to Commissioner or to Chairman Cutshaw calling for the special meeting. So I just wanted to mention that to you and why. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, let's reiterate. We have a motion and a second before us with the items removed with cause. Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, let's vote this motion, please. This motion passes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. We will now move to item 5, items removed from consent calendar. We now have a question on the county attorney invoices. Commissioner Green, I will recognize you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman. I have a question in regard to the invoice for 12/19/23 of the county attorney, and it's the phone conference with Bill Britton and Roger Woosley, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. I am curious as to what that regarded, since there was no notes for it.
I'm not sure that this is appropriate, but I don't know that it's inappropriate. It had to do with the federal office of, I think, soil conservation or something, insisting that Greene County pay for insurance for for all the vehicles in that particular office. And I'm trying to remember if their people were going to drive those vehicles. If the Greene County people were going to drive those federal vehicles, then that federal office wanted Greene County to insure all of the vehicles. And so the inquiry was Hamlben County being asked about that? Were they being told that they needed to insure all the vehicles in that particular office? That's all it was. Is that sufficient?
That answers that question, and I have a further question further down the road, but I'll wait till we get to the change order. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful. Okay, I'll entertain a motion then that we accept the county attorney invoices.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion.
Second.
We have a second. Is there any other discussion on this motion? This motion will be off the board. Roll call vote, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Yes.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed,
Yes.
Mike Richardson.
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
This motion passes. We'll now move to item 6, the approval of consent calendar. Let's get caught out. We're there. Okay. Approval of the consent calendar. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion,
Second.
and we have a second. Any discussion on the consent calendar as presented? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Yea, 0 nay.
And this motion passes. Okay, we will now recess as the Hamlben County Legislative Body and convene as the Hamlben County Beer Board. Let's see, item 7A, beer permit. I'm afraid I would butcher some of this. Beer permit for Mr. Patel at the Ridgewood Market and Deli, 2875 Reed's Chapel Road, Morristown, Tennessee, 37813. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this beer permit? Any questions from the beer board? Do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. Any questions from this beer board? Seeing none, let's move to item 7B, the beer permit for Mr. Patel, the Lex Market and Deli, 2994 Springvale Road, Morristown, Tennessee, 37813. Is there any questions or anyone has cause to bring to this beer board? Commissioners, any question? Okay. Seeing none, we will now reconvene as the Hamlben County Legislative Body and take up item number 8A, the beer permit for Harold Patel and Mr. Patel, Ridgewood Market and Deli, 2875 Reed's Chapel Road, Morristown, Tennessee, 37813. I need a motion.
So moved.
That was Tim. And we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Yea, 1 nay, 1 abstain.
This motion passes. Item 8B, beer permit for Mr. Patel, Lex Market and Deli, 2994 Springvale Road, Morristown, Tennessee, 37813. Need a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote this motion, please.
Yea, 1 nay, 2 abstain.
And this motion passes. Thank you, Commissioners. We will now move to item 9, Justice Center Public Safety Committee. Chairman Horner, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 9A, change order number 16 for $73,150, and I put that in form of a motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Commissioner Green, you're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. As I previously stated, until we have an explanation from the contract attorney to this commission as to some of the overcharges that are absolutely ridiculous for the drawings we had, I will vote no.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anyone else that'd like to speak to this motion? Seeing none, let's vote this motion, please.
12 yea, 1 nay.
This motion passes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Horner. We now move to item 10 on our agenda. Finance Committee Chairman Bobby Hahn, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 10A, Resolution 2401 is a resolution authorizing Hamlben County Board of Commissioners to adopt resolutions with respect to the prosecution of any legal claim against manufacturers of insulins and other diabetic medications, against pharmacy benefits managers. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Commissioner Green, you are recognized.
Chairman, I just have, first question is, did our county attorney look at this contract?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's my first question. My second question, the way that she explained it when she presented in the committees that they would not go after anyone in Hamlben County for the pharmacies is the way I understood it, and if I'm incorrect, please correct me, sir.
I do recall her saying
So
that.
my question is, did she, the other counties that I'm thinking joined this? I'd like to know what other counties were approached, what other counties joined, and if she promised them the same thing. And the reason I'm asking such a silly question, let's say we have a problem with someone in Claiborne County. If they agreed not to go after that, does that limit us from going after them?
I can't answer that. I mean,
Or
I
why
don't
we-
know the answer to that.
Okay, is there a way we can get answers before we vote on this?
I think the resolution is laid out, and I'll yield to the attorney if he has any insight.
I don't particularly, Ms. Green, are you saying that that would particularly be a conflict of attorney suing different counties and saying that they weren't gonna sue the county, this county, but they were gonna sue these folks over here? Claiborne County would sue Hamlben County sue Claiborne County?
No, what I'm getting at is if they promised, and I'll use Claiborne County for my example, if they promised them as well when they approached them with the same thing, that they wouldn't do that, does it limit Hamlin County from going after them?
I don't know the answer to that either.
I'd like to have an answer before it, and that while I've got you there, let me ask one more question of you, because you are the man that knows it all, and I'm proud of that. Why would we not let our state attorney general go after this for the state like some of the other states have done?
I don't have any answer to that, Ms. Green. I mean, it's certainly prerogative of the AG could do that himself.
Well, let me thank you for your time and thank you for your answers, sir. I, for one, would like to have more answers before I vote, sir.
Yes, ma'am, well, you do have a vote here. Commissioner Doty, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just one quick point, Ms. Jessie elaborated to when she was here, was that we could amend the contract to add local pharmaceuticals if we wanted to for Hamlin County. I guess it would be 2 points. Also, as far as the Attorney General going after it, she also elaborated that her group not using the Attorney General got 10% more than those that used the Attorney General. She elaborated to such.
He did state that.
So, with that being said, I don't see why we would want to go through the Attorney General. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Doty. Anyone else like to speak to this matter? Commissioner Richardson, you're recognized, sir.
So in their contract, it says that based on the county's request, the county and the council will not pursue. So that would be our specific request. So we can or we can't. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak to this matter? Seeing none, let's vote this motion, please.
Yea, 1 nay, 1 abstain.
And this motion passes.
Item 10B, Legal Services Contract, Authority to Represent Put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
12 yea, 1 nay.
This motion passes.
Item 10, C, and D, as noted before, have been removed from the consent calendar. That brings us down to budget amendments. 10F1, Hamlben County Department of Education School Nutrition Program, budget amendment number 1, an increase of $6,180. I make that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
13 yea, 0 nay.
And this motion passes.
Item 10F2, Hamlin County Department of Education, budget amendment number 5, an increase of $397,680.15. I make that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote this motion, please.
13 yea, 0 nay.
This motion passes.
Item 10F3, Fund 131, Highway Department, $1,186,241.64, and I make that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
13 yea, 0 nay.
This motion carries.
Item 10F4, Fund 151, Special Debt Service, $11,515. I make that motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
13 yea, 0 nay.
And this motion passes.
Item 10F5, Fund 176, Highway Capital Projects Fund, $5,000. I make that motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
13 yea, 0 nay.
And this motion passes.
Item 10F6, Fund 101, Election Commission, $3,500, and I make that motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion on this item? Commissioner Horner, you're
Just a
recognized.
quick question, and it may just be me. Did we miss 10E, the commercial lease agreement?
That also was
Is in the other
removed.
packet?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
it's not ready for us, but yes, sir, that was removed. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, but yes, sir, it was removed. Back to our motion and second at hand, our Fund 101 Election Commission, $3,500. We have a motion and second. Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
13 yea, 0 nay.
And that motion passes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Hahn of the Finance Committee. Folks, that concludes our regular business tonight. We will, please note, be back here in this courtroom next Thursday night, weather permitting, and I think the weather's supposed to be better next week. We will be back here at 5 o'clock to take up 2 items in our special call meeting. Also, our next committee meeting will be February the 12th, 5 o'clock here, and our next commission meeting, February the 22nd. Are all minds clear? Crystal. We are adjourned.